Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps, SRE, DevSecOps coach. I have close to 18 plus years of experience working in multiple MNCs around the globe and having in-depth knowledge of DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. So I would like to introduce you one certification program in a DevOps, and that is we call it DevOps Certified Professional. Now this is a 2 months of program, 25 tools of DevOps you will learn, and apart from that you will also get the access to the LMS, lifetime access to the videos portal. It's a certification program, and you will have 25 assignments and 2 projects along with it. It's a completely weekend program, so here you have classes on Saturday and Sunday. So as part of this course, you will learn multiple things. Here you see that you will learn Linux, AWS, Docker, Jira, Confluence, Python, Git with GitHub, SonarQube, Maven, Gradle, Packer, Artifactory, Selenium, JMeter, Ansible, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, Jenkins, Datadog, Splunk, and Neuralink. Now, how do we, apply for this? So how can you reach out to us? So you have a WhatsApp number and email ID. So please reach out to us, and we'll help you to onboard this program. Apart from this DevOps certified professional programs, we are offering other certifications as well in a DevSecOps, SRE, and one of the very comprehensive programs which we have is in Master in DevOps Engineering. Yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us and then enroll for it. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started with Git first and then GitHub. So before getting into the Git, we need to understand what is versioning. Okay, so versioning is a process. Okay, versioning is basically a process in which you set up a system to track every changes of the source code. Okay, so what was the we are writing a code every day, right? HTML code, PHP code, Java code, this that code and all. Code means any files, by the way. Okay, any files. It can be text file which you can read it, human can read it. So we modify the same files, other files, and we keep modifying from last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So we want to keep a track of it, those changes over the period of time. We want to know that, okay, who has modified at what time, why this modification made, he has made it to that file, the reason for it, where the changes was made, and when it was made, last year, last week, last day, last hour, all these things. So we want to keep a track of it, and for that we have a versioning concept. Okay, so now what are the versioning tools which we had? So we had many tools which is like SCCS, RCS, CVS, SVN and all, but the latest one which is Git. So Git is born in 2005. Okay, now it was created by Linus Torvalds. Now who is the Linus Torvalds? He's the same guy who's the father of Linux, right? Same guy. And it was a replacement for the BitKeeper to manage the Linux kernel source code. Yes, Git was not developed for us. So Linus Torvald had some fight with a BitKeeper. So Linus Torvald decided to write his own tool for versioning the source code, and that was a Git. Okay, so that is stuff. Now Git is free, open source. Now it's compatible with all the operating system, and it's faster than other SCM systems like Perforce, SVN and all, sometime 100x also. Now there is a relations between faster and distributed. Okay, so I'll explain you what is the meaning of distributed and what is the how it's become a faster. So that is stuff. Now if you look at the popularity, I have not modified the slides from last 2 years, but 2020, look at this, and 2009 you had 2009 you had only 50,000 repository at a GitHub. Mind it, Git and GitHub both are different tools. I'll explain it to you how. And by 2020 we had 1 million, 190 million. Now you can go to the GitHub website and look at the stats. It will be more than 500 millions right now, more than that. So this is the kind of popularities which we have of Git. So now in a simple way, everyone is using Git for versioning their source code. Now source code can be anything here. It can be any code like PHP, Ruby, C++, HTML, all the stuff kind of things. So Git, you can store the file, which is images, movies, music, and font, what processing files and all, but you cannot version it. So when I say version means, see, when you modify the one file 2 times, okay, so then you can see the difference between these two files because the text-based file. But image are not text-based file. Movies, these are a binary, non-text-based file. Music, fonts, Word document, PDF is also not a text-based file. Spreadsheet is also. It's a executable. It's a application itself actually. So this you can store in the Git, but you cannot version it. You cannot compare the two Excel file or one image at committed at 2 times. You cannot compare. So that is something. Now Git is distributed. So what is the meaning of distributed? So for that we need to understand. So there is one concept which we call it. I want to have this. Oh, this is Notepad. It's MS Paint. I want actually. So here there is one concept which is called server and client model. Okay. So server and client model. What happens? There is one server. This is your machine server. Okay. And server of course will have IP address, using that we can access. Okay, now this server we have one software that you call it SCM software, and this SCM software manage one repo, this repo, one repo, this is repo. Mind it, this is one repo, and repo is also divided into two part. This is repo, and do two part. One is your files, the source code which you store it, and then metadata which will have a record of who, what, when, all these things we discussed, right? Who, what, why, where, and when, all this metadata will be there. Now if you want this and this can be SVN or clear case purpose, hell lot of software we had it earlier. We guys are lucky actually now. I mean, we have only one software for versioning. Earlier I had worked in the project, I was working with SVN also, CVS also, purpose also, clear case also. Just imagine that time. At the time I was, when I was working as a build and release engineer. So now it's good. So now this is the server, and now how do we access this? So you will have, this is your laptop, this is someone else's laptop, and what you will do, you will install the client, SVN client, clearcase client, perforce client, and this client will fetch the code and keep it here, and then you will work on it. So basically anything you want to do, you want to add a new code, you want to modify a new code, you want to see the differences, you want to create a branches, for everything server, network call will happen to this machine, to this machine. So here is the server and this is the client. This, on this model only, all the tools which you know, that if you CVS, SVN, Perforce, Clearcase, all this thing is based on the server and client model. Are you okay with this, all of you? It's an old model. I mean, from last 20-30 years, we were working on the server and client model. Mind it? Hello? Are you okay with it?
Yeah, we are listening.
Yeah. Akansha, can you hear me? Hello? Akansha? Okay. So now the topic was Git is
Yes.
distributed. Yes. Git is distributed. Focus on it. Okay. So Git is distributed.
Okay.
So what is a distributed means? So mind it, here in the server, if you see that here you have one repo, and here we don't have a repo, we have a client workspace, one part of the code you have it. Here you don't have a versioning you have here at the server level. In the Git, little bit different. So let's say Git, what happens? This is you, this is my repo, this is my machine, this is someone else's machine, this is someone else's machine. And if you want to version your code, what happen? You have a repo here only. Here this is a repo, this is the repo, this is the repo, this is the repo. Look at this model. In this model, distributed model, this is the distributed model, and this is the server and client model. In the server and client model, you have only one repo which has a code and the metadata. And here you have workspace, part of the code, you work on it, and then anything you do, you talk to the server. But here what happens, you have your own repo, and own repo divided into two part, files and database, whatever meta information. So this is repo, and actually you know what you do, this is you inside your laptop and you commit using git client to this repo. That means anyone who wants to version that, mind it here, anyone who wants to version the source code using git, they have to do in their own local repo. Here also you have to have your own repo. This is the distributed. That means everyone will have their own repo and they will commit the version of the code in their own repo, local repo. Okay, now you will have one questions like, okay Rajesh, I will commit all of my versions in the one repository. Okay, that's fine, but how do I share that my code with others? That I'll discuss later. But because of everyone have their own repo in a git architecture, that is the reason we call it a git is distributed. That means git, there's no central place for that. There's no server as such. This is not a server, this is not a server, this is not a server, and so on. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So
Rajesh,
now, yeah.
can you repeat it again? Actually, I'm unable to see that. My screen is like it's
Okay. So
not
what I'm
loading.
saying, so what I'm saying, in the older software tools or older tools, which was allow us to versioning the source code, we had a server concept and client concept, and server will hold the repo. But in a Git, there is no server as such. Everyone who wants to version their source code, they have to store the version in their own repository, which is local to your laptop, not somewhere outside. Make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the reason we call it a distributed. So now, how do we get started with it? So let's get started directly. So now, next question you should ask me: how to install Git? Okay, how to install Git. Now I don't know if you are on Windows or Linux or Mac. Okay, Linux and Mac. So if you are on Mac, I think nowadays Git is installed by default every Mac. Just check it out. Linux also, if you want to install it, apt get install, this is for Ubuntu, and then yum install git, this is for RHEL. Now in Windows, you need a exe file, correct? So from where you will download it? So you will get it from git-scm.com, and you'll see this is the executable. You will download it. Now how to install executable? I don't think so. I should teach you because that's something which you are doing from last 20 years. Next, 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 and finish, and then done. So executable, you install it. Now one thing, if you install the executable, there is one utility in Git, you in Windows you will get it, and that's called Git Bash. What is the Git Bash? So let me show you here. I installed this already, maybe few months older version. This is the Git Bash, and this is a Git command. Here it is. And by the way, you can work on the command line also. This is the Git, you see, Git PowerShell also. Whichever you are comfortable, you can work with it. Okay, this is a Git, and but I'm for this training I'm using Git Bash, not command line, not PowerShell. I'm using Git Bash. Now, question is, what is a Git Bash? So basically, Git Bash is a one utility which will allow not only to run Git commands, that is anyways will be there, but also basic core Linux command. Yes. So you are in Windows, basic Linux command you can run in the Windows using Git Bash. Are you understanding, all of you? It's like a Sigwin. If you have used anyone, then it's like that. Make sense? So this is the basics. Without being a Linux, you can run the basic command. So this is the Git Bash. Now many people, what they do, simply they open up this console and then start firing the commands for Git. But you must remember that you are firing the commands here, somewhere here. And exactly you want to see that here. So this is not a good place to fire any commands. Okay, mind it. So you should not do that. So yeah, that is a stuff. So after installing it, how do we get started? So I will put it in the flow. Let me check it out in the flow. I have documented it. So this is the flow, but I want to show you something different. Just give me 2 seconds. I had to restart my this one. What is it? Laptop. So most of the things got closed. Yeah, Git workflow. So this is the Git workflow. It will be in the recording. You can follow. Now it will be in the slides also. You can follow the same thing demo I'm going to give you. So first thing, did you install the Git? Yes, I did it. After that, you have to create a repo. Now many people blindly run the git in it, and they get into the trouble because of they run the command in the wrong locations. Okay, so what exactly that is? So you should run it where you should run it. So you create some empty directory. Let's say for example here git is there. So here, and I'll delete this file, and then here what should I do? Git bash, right? So go to search, open a git bash here. Automatically when you open up here, automatically this will come this directory, under this directory. So if you do the pwd linux command, I hope you remember that. So this is the directory. It's empty. You see that backend you have empty. So what to do? So you should run the git in it. It's your repository. Remember that in this image, this is your repository. This is where the version will be stored. Okay, I'll discuss in detail, but this is your repository. So can we run this command? So let me run this command. Okay, so now just can you please read it someone? What is exactly? See here, many people just ignore the things, but don't ignore, just learning time, you have to read it. So initialized, empty, git, repo, where? In this location, but this is your repo. Now dot git, it's a hidden in Windows, mind it, in Linux also by the way. So right now it's visible because here I said view, where is that? Show hidden items. So remember that this many people have buzzed me saying that, hey, you said create a repository but it's not visible. Where exactly that is? So this is, you have to enable this one to see this hidden files, hidden directory. Okay, so that is done. One step I have completed. Are you comfortable with it, all of you? Hello, hello, am I audible?
I have one question,
Yes,
Rajesh.
Rajesh.
Go to
We
the
can hear you.
drawing once.
Yes, some question was there.
Yeah, please go to the drawing once, right, which you were showing.
Hmm.
I'm a bit confused there. So here in four, there are like four repositories here, right, in the distributed,
No,
and then
four people. Four
four
people.
people,
This is
four
you.
developers
This is
are working.
me. Huh, huh,
Okay, four developers are working, and they are working on their
huh.
own code, which have dependencies.
Laptop.
For
Laptop.
example,
Yeah.
okay, but they are they are working on, I mean, same feature or something like that. They are developing the same thing. So the
Correct.
developer, if he is making some changes, and developer 2 is trying to unknowingly
So
making the.
that is what I said. No, see, first of all, you worrying about yourself. Whatever code you do, take a version of it. Next question: once you are done with your work, you need someone else code, or maybe your code need someone else need your code. That I'll discuss later. I don't want to confuse at a 2 minute things. Make
Okay,
sense? So right now we'll version our code. Let's forget about the others. After half an hour, we'll discuss about that scenario also. Okay.
okay,
Okay, so now what I was doing, so here I created repository. Okay, so you saw that .git was a repository, and then finally next step what you have to do, you have to decide what file you want to version it. So I have to become a developer. Okay, and when I say developer, you are a developer. Don't think you are a something else. Everyone in this session is a developer now. That means DevOps. I hope you remember the DevOps session. Anyone who will writing a code in any format, configuration file also, that's a developer. Okay, so here you will write a file. Now let me write a file, file1.java. Okay, and this is the file, and I'll create one file which is index.html. This is the web front, this is the back end, all these files you have it. Now I'll just write a code.
So this is one line of code, special code, don't laugh. And this is second line of code, third line of code, and fourth line of code. Fourth line, remember 4 line I added. Now here also I will add some lines of code. So here this is some HTML code, 4-5 lines I put it up, save it. So now you completed a code like that. You will have a multiple code, you will write it and you will store it in this location only. Okay, now this is the way you will do that. So yeah, you completed the work. Now you have to take a version today. So now you know what, you have to set who are you. Remember that you are working in your local repository. This is the local repository. Here in this case, server and client, if you remember, here your client, here your server. So in that case, network call here it will happen. So you'll have to use the user ID and password for authentication. Okay, user ID and password, others no, everyone can do that commit. But here, because you are working in the local, it's a local repository, and you will have 100% access. So there is no password required for it. There's no user ID required for it. But how you will get an answer for like who has committed this code? See that here, this slide, who. Okay, because what I can see, why, probably I'll give the reason, where I can see when it will be done, but who. So in this git they say, hey, just set your username and email address, that's all. This name you can keep it anything, the email address you can keep it anything. So now I'll just run, and this is one time activity minded for each repository. I repeat, each repository. And if you want to see that, here my system is having lots of entries here, so you'll see confusing a little bit. There is a command which is bad command. So basically I wrote right one, but it's so hyphen hyphen two hyphen needed, so it converted into the one hyphen because of some reason HTML editor. So here hyphen hyphen list, remember that. Okay, this one. Now if you see that bottom sections of this page, see here, this is my name, I put it up, and this is my email address. So this is a one-time activity here, or this is also one time, this is also one time, done. After that, what you have to do, you have to add a file. Okay, add a file to the git. See here, add these files to git, add files to the git. So what I'll do, I'll run this command git add index.html. Any one file you can do that, and control Z and control D. Okay, so now adding a file. So let me clear the screen, and now I'm adding a file. Okay, so here how many files you have? So git add file1.java. I'm adding. Okay, remember the file1.java, 4 lines of code we had it, if you remember that. Done. Now after that I will commit. So again, don't copy paste blindly, because here it's again broken, this code. Okay, so that I'll correct it after this session. But this is not right code, this is the right code. Okay, so you will get it here. So don't do that blindly. So git commit, and this is the commit. So this is my first commit, right? This is my first commit, and done. And here you committed. Now you see that how many files you committed? One. Look at this, remember the 4 lines were there, 4 insertions. If you delete some line, you will be having deleted, and done. So now how do we see that commit? Look at this git log, and here this is the commit ID. So now you will say, Rajesh, why the version is not there, like 1 2 3 4 5 6? No, in the git the versioning concept, revision concept is not there. Revision means 1 2 3 4 like that will not come, like a SVN if you have used, or per force or clear case or whatever it is. So here you have a commit ID. This commit ID will represent this commit, whatever you added this file. Okay, and here in this one commit you can have a multiple files also committed, multiple directories also committed. So this is the commit ID, 40 character hash value, developed by SHA-1 algorithm. Remember that SHA-1. in the Git, which algorithm which we had it for the creating Docker image? You remember that, anyone? Docker session we had it, right? So which algorithm which was used in the Docker images? Anyone have a memories?
AMD.
SAR256. Okay, so Git and Docker image both are same actually. If you remember that in the Docker also we had a versioning concept, versioning the file system. Remember that? So same concept we have here also. Okay, so SHA-1 algorithm is powering this commit ID. So this commit ID will represent the whatever the files you committed, file right now file one only, and then so on. So now let's find out the answer, some of the answer for this one. So who was committed? Rajesh Kumar. What was committed? So I'll come back this one. Why it was committed? Because of it was first commit. Where commit? I'll show you that next question. When it was committed? Time. Now next two questions which I did not answer, when and what and where. So for that there's another command, git show and commit ID you have to use. Enter. And now remember the 4 lines of code. This is the 4 lines of code, and at the root locations here, this is the root locations, and so on. So now you understood this. This is the basic workflow. You got it. And here this is the stuff. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is the in a loop you have to do. Remember that. Remember that. Work on your source code. Add the file. Commit the file. See the committed logs. Verify it. This is in loop. You will do that. Okay. So all of you are understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions, guys? Akansha, you have any question? Okay, so now you will have some fundamental questions. So, for example, hey, how it works? I showed you this flow. It was very simple, but how it works, and you need to understand this, because if you don't understand this, this is the most important topic in this. Okay, if you don't understand any of this command, see, Git is not something hard to learn, because hell lot of materials available on the internet. But this which I'm explaining you, you must understand. And if you don't understand, no matter where you go and get a commands, you will not understand that. Okay, so let's understand this one. Okay, how Git works. Okay, so this is something which we have to do that. So now get comfortable with it. This is your Git directory. Okay, Git repository, and inside this is a repository. This is the files you have. Okay, so let me create a one diagram. I've created this diagram earlier also, but I'll create one more time because I want to explain you step by step, because if I show you the existing diagram, then you'll not understand. So here, this is a directory, understand? And this you can represent in this one. Okay, can I do one thing? Can I name this? Just a second, hold on. Just for reference purpose, exit this. And can I name this git into git repo? It will be easy to understand. Git repo 1. This is the git repo 1. Now let's go to open up a console. Okay, so here, can I represent this directory in form of this? Are you okay with this? So here, this is the directory. Now can I divide this repository into two part? Okay, one each This is the two part, and one each. This one itself 14, and one each. This is one part, and this second part is here. This is your repository. Okay. Okay. Now, can I call this part as a workspace? So here, this is a workspace, and this is a repository. You understanding what I'm trying to do, all of you? Hello? Hello? I'm audible, right? Guys, please respond.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now, this is you, and you always modify the source code. This is your source code. This is your source code. This is your source code. You modify in this directory. Okay, which you know that. So remember that your file is here. This is the place, and here you have a repository. So now the question you should ask me, Rajesh, I'm not able to understand here why you add and then why you commit. Why you do that? Why can't you commit directly? So there is a reason for it. What happens? This area, the Git repo, also you have to divide into two parts. Let me divide it. Okay. And one part, again, repository, again you divide into two parts, and one part you call it staging. Okay. Or sometimes you call it indexing also. And another part we call it repository. Yeah, so don't get confused. So here repository is also divided into two parts. One is indexing and one is repository. So what happens? What happens? Understand this flow. What happens when you add the file? This file get added to staging. How it happens? When you run the command add. Okay, when you add the command add.
$76.
Hello.
$76.
Yeah, guys, can you mute yourself? So here what happens? This is the add. That means this file get into staging area. Now we'll say, Rajesh, where is the staging area? So right now this area is protected. You cannot explore it. You cannot explore it. Okay, you cannot explore it, but it is there. Okay, so if you see that this file, index file, which is an area, is a protected executable area actually. Okay, so don't get into that. You cannot explore it, but there's a command to know that what files are there in staging. Okay, I'll teach you that. And now what happens when you commit the code? Mind it, when I say commit, git commit, then what happens? This code only travel from here and create one version of code, one commit. Then next time, next commit. Next time, next commit. Next time, next commit. Next time, next commit. So right now 5 commits I have done. So 5 add also have to do this. Modify the file, add it, come to staging area and commit from the staging to the repository. 1 commit, 2 commit, 3 commit, 4 commit, 5 commit, and this commit which I was talking about, git log. See here, mind it very carefully. This commit, this is the ID of commit. Identify that commit ID. Now one more thing here, you must remember that if you practice the Docker image creation process, you know what? The parent of this commit is this one. Here this guy, this commit is a parentless. Parent of this commit is this one. Parent of this commit is this one. Parent of this commit is this one. That means when you this commit, if in future if you want it, all this commit will come. If you get this commit, all this commit will come. If you get this commit, check out this commit, all this commit will come along with it. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so now you understood that why I am doing this add and commit. But here you will ask, Rajesh, why we have a two space, I mean this staging area. So basically what is happening, think simple way. Okay, you are a developer, you are modifying thousands of file in this workspace, and you don't know which file you want to commit. So what you do, any files you modify, you keep sending to staging area using the git add command. At end of the day, you decide, okay, which file you want to really commit. You want to all files you want to commit, or only this particular file you want to commit. So you only commit those files, or all commit which you wanted, depends on that. So this basically staging area is kind of review place. Okay, this is a kind of review place what you have. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes, friends.
Good. So in this case, how git works? So git, first you modify the workspace, add it, staging area, from staging commit, and let's go to the repository. Now I want to show you this. So let me show you that you will get to know. Git status. Git status is a command which will tell you which file you have where. So now you see that in the directory I have a three files, file 1, file 2 and index. But here file 1 is not showing. Why? Because all the file 1's content which we wanted to version is already version. So Git don't need to consider that file. It's already committed. So Git is saying, hey, you have not committed this file. This is committed. So status will tell you the changes which is from the workspace, which is not committed so far. Okay. So now where is this two things? If you look at it very carefully, read it. This is in a workspace because Git is unable to track this file. So right now this file is still here in this place, workspace. So now questions to all of you: how to send this file to staging area? All of you? All of you?
Add, maybe add.
Git add. And you know what? Dot, I will add it. Okay. So here dot means all the commits. You want to single also, but dot means it will take everything. Or you can put it like this, all. All you want to send it to staging area. Now I did it all dot, whatever you want to add it, git status. See, this file is now in a staging area. How? If you read this, changes to be committed. Committed means this is the commit. Earlier it was to be added. Now it's to be committed. Now they say, hey, if you don't want to commit, if you want to send back to the working directory, use this command to unstage it backward. But I don't want to. Now git commit -m second commit. Okay, and then this time I don't want to commit everything. If I run this command, it will committed both the things, but I don't want it. I want only selective one. So Java, enter. So only Java will be committed here. File2.java will be committed, and I commit. What mistake I did it? Oh, -m is a problem. Let's see here again, same flow. Docker, git status. See that now only one file git is reporting, hey, I have a in directory, I have a this file and this file which is committed, so I will not show you, but this file is not committed. So now git log, if you see, two commits will be there. Spelling mistake. Git log, and see here, this is a commit which is the first commit, this is the second commit. Now this commit parent is this commit, mind it, and you are again, you see that committed. So now in this image you have 5 commits. Now we have a 2 commits here. Understood now, all of you?
Correct.
Okay, now I'll ask few questions. For example, how to commit selective file. Now how to add all files. Okay, how to commit directories. Okay, so here the answer is git add all How to commit selective file? So here just now I run it. I should have written it. Okay. Yeah. So this is the which I run it selective file. If you commit all, that means you just have to write this one. And how to commit directory, I'll show you that. So look at my screen, all of you. So here, how to version directory. So mkdir src. Okay. So I created one directory ls. You see that one directory is there. Now if I see the git status, see directory is not showing actually in this. So basically empty directory is meaningless in the git. So there should be some content. So if I write some content, so let me use a touch command to write a content, touch src and raju.txt, some file. And now the moment you have a files directory, you see the status, it says, hey, src is in working directory, you can add it. Then after commit it. Now you can also modify. How to modify and commit existing version file. Spelling mistake, I'll correct it. Version file. So you just modify whatever you want to do. Let me modify this code manually. I'm doing it. So go back. This code you want to modify, right? So open this file, and I'm adding only one line, or let's say 2 line, something like that. I added modify. Now if you see that here, git status. See, so now Git is saying, hey, if you read this one, Git is saying, hey, I have versioned this file. I have versioned this file. So that record I am having it. But you know what? That's the reason it says modify. Here it was say new file. That means never committed, but it's added in the staging. And this file is untracked. This is the workspace. Look at this. So now if you see that here, this file, working directory, this file is existing file modified, and this directory is, and let me create one more file, touch file 3.java. This is in workspace. So now look at this, clarity on this status. Look at this here very carefully. This is new file where staging area. This is a new file, but is still in working directory. This was existing file, but that Git is saying the content is to modify. I have not versioned that one. So that's the reason you have to add it and commit again. Now you understood this, all of you? All of you? Hello?
So Rajesh, the third thing what you mentioned is file one we have again made changes, but it is not committed, right? Is that the
So file one, Git is saying
modified?
file one is committed, but the recent changes is not version, not committed. So you have to add and commit again.
Okay, sure.
Got it? Look at this image. So now remember this workflow. Always remember that. If you do not remember this workflow, you will not be able to work on Git for sure. So anytime the file is getting introduced in working directory, from that staging area using git add and then git commit, then create a final versions of it. The same way I showed you these documents also, and then these documents also. Make sense? All of you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me just this one. So I'll just write it so you'll not get confused. I'll share this. So what is this? This is the index.html in which area? All of you? Staging. And file1.java is in which area? But what?
Repository.
File1 is committed, is in repository, but changes is in working directory. New changes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, working directory. Now this one is you. I hope you understand. And then last one, this is in working
Okay.
directory again. Working directory. Okay, so this is the way you have to understand. Now, if you understood this concept, then you understand everything. Nothing complicated in this. We have this one. I'll update the documents later. I'll send it to you. Okay, so did all of you understood this? So now a few questions. How to add up all files, you know that. How to commit selectively, you know that. How to commit directories, so let me do that. Very simple. Git dot all commit. I'm adding all, everything. So now you see that status, everything in staging now. And now git commit, adding directory and all files. Done, everything I am committing. And now you see that everything has been versioned. Now everything is versioned on branch master, nothing to commit, working strictly. That means all this thing, what you modify the code, you have versioned already. So git log. Now first version, second version, and here everything you have it. Understood now, all of you? Hello?
Yes.
I just create it for you. Touch. But I'll not use it because many people just miss it actually. Git commit. I'm adding a directory. That's all. Now, how to modify existing version? So here, existing versioned file. Okay. How to modify and commit existing version file? So here, git bi file .txt, git add file .txt, git commit. All this command I have run it. Message adding, modifying my code, modifying with new code in the version file. Simple. And then commit, done. So guys, did you understand that, all of you? Okay. Now, how to go back, mind it, to how to go back to the old versioned files, versioned commit. How to? Did you understand this question? Did you understand this question, all of you?
Yeah.
That means, see, why you are versioning. Think simple. Ask yourself question, why you are versioning. Because you are versioning, because in future you will go and see what you committed the code last time. What was the state of last month, last year, 5 years ago, last week, last day, last hour. Correct, no? You version for that reason only. You want to know that what is the history of it. I want to go back to the history of it. Make sense, right?
Yeah.
Hello. So then what to do? So now let me take first this image, so I can share with you. Remember that. Okay. So now you need to do backward. Backward means remember that you have only one workspace. One workspace you have. This is the place. So you need to do backward. How? So you are saying you have to tell Git, hey Git, I want this version 3 in my workspace. Let me change the color. I want this version in my workspace. Or I want this version in my workspace. You can see this is you. So you can see in the workspace. Are you understanding, all of you?
Correct.
So what do you need to do? Git checkout and then commit ID. Let me do that in front of you. So remember that so far I have in my workspace, I have committed everything to the repository. So git status, if I see there is no changes right now, I have in working directory which is not committed. Everything is committed. So that's the reason you see this message you are getting. But I want to see the logs. And here I want to commit, I want to check out, I want to see that this changes up to these changes or up to these changes only. Look at this. So I just said this is mother for this is parent for this is this one, and this is the parentless, and parent of this one is this one. So if you get this commit ID, this one will also will come along with it. So can I check out? So git checkout and commit ID. That's all. Enter. Now you have got the message saying that hey, you have checked out from the older revision, that's okay, and then do ls. See that this was the state of your repository at that time. That commit you added to commit, remember that, all of you? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, so this was the state of it. So I can revert back also, yeah, because why I'm versioning, because of that region, right? I'm versioning because of that region. So yes, I will go back and ask for any commit, I'll get it. How? Checkout. Checkout and commit ID. Now I want to go how to go back to the most latest version commit. So for that, git checkout master. Now branching concept I need to explain it to you. So I'll explain it to you. But this command you have to run it. So you'll go to the latest one again. So you again check out the last commit of the which you committed, and now you see you have. So these are the some of the fundamental flow you have to understand. Now you'll say, Rajesh, I want to delete some files. Question is how to delete files in Git. Okay, so Git. So I'll give you the command first. Git rm file. What is the file I have? Let's say file2.java. File2.java. And here Git status. Look at the status, and then Git commit -m deleting a file, and then again git status you should get a habit of it. So now you can I do that? So git rm file.java, I did it. Now I'll check the git status. Okay, so git status. Now you see that here, if you look at it very carefully, you tell me this changes when I deleted this file is gone. See that file is from the working directory is gone. But here, tell me what this is there where? Where is this changes? Which location? Workspace, staging, what?
The staging area.
Yeah,
Staging.
staging area. So see, this changes you got deleted here, and this changes has to be done in the repository. So for that, it has gone to staging area. And now when you commit, git commit and delete delete this file and commit. Now it will be committed there also. This delete operations will committed there also, and you see that one more commit you will get it here. Now let me ask you one question. Think simple and then tell me. So this was the first commit, then second commit. Second commit, that file2.java has come. Third commit also it was there, and this commit I deleted. Agree with me?
Yes.
Agree with me? Now my questions to all of you. Okay. Just again, I got lost. So many commits. Just in order. Okay, this is the commit again. Sorry, I was confusing. So this is the last commit where I deleted. My questions to all of you is, can you please tell me the file is really deleted? Got deleted? What do you think?
No.
Yes, that's correct. The file is not deleted at all. See, that's the beauty of versioning, right? Why we are doing versioning? So you are doing the versioning, so whatever you are doing with the file, whether it's a delete, update, adding, modify, whatever, it should be recorded, right? History should be recorded. That's the reason we are using Git. So yes, you deleted that file at this level, but that file is still here. Okay, let me show you. So go back, check out again. The second, my system is little slow. So git log, enter, and this is the place you deleted. But if I check out this file, that file will be there. So let me check out. Check out, enter, and you see here file 2 should be there. Let me do that. ls. See here file 2 dot is there. But again, if I go to the last commit, where the file will not be there because that is deleted in the last commit. See here, it's not there. Do you understand that, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, great. So guys, what I did showed you how to version your file in the local repository. How to version. So remember that you modify the file, add commit. You want to older version, check out, and few more scenarios I discussed, and so on. So will you remember this, all of you, this flow? Any questions?
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.